In today's Polka News video, we'll take a look at Bifrost with regards to the liquidity pool that's coming up in 4 days with VS dot and V dot. And then we'll also take a look at the V dot liquidity pool farming as well, because it does offer an APY of 34.46%, which is actually better than staking dot, because if you're staking dot at the moment through a validator, it's about 14%. Right now, it could be less depending on where you're staking as well. If you're staking on an exchange like Kraken, I think it's even less there, but then you've got more flexibility with regards to withdrawing it. You don't have to wait 28 days like you do on the official Polkadot web wallet if you choose a validator. Then we'll also talk about Zenlink, and finally we'll talk about Remark. We do have some news there with regards to one of the games on Remark, that's Evrloot. They have created a really cool functionality. And then finally we'll close it off with Crust Network. So let's kick things off with Bifrost. So here we can see the liquidity pool farm here is gonna launch in 4 days. We've got this one that's already existing, the V dot, which is 34.46%. So let's take a look at that actually, because it is interesting. If you go to the swap feature here, you can swap between the different cryptocurrencies, of course, just like you could on a DEX. But if we enter one here in V dot just to check how close the pegging is to dot, you could see it is very, very close, 0.99. Of course, the more you try to swap, the more it loses that peg, right? I mean, now you're getting 96 dot for 100 V dot. But let's say if you are doing 10, for example, it's 9.95. So the pegging is quite close. It's not exactly the same, but quite close. Now, the one that does differ quite a lot is VS dot, which is the one that's due to launch its farming pool in 4 days. And if you hit this one, it's 0.68. Okay, so 68% of your dot to get one VS dot. And I believe if you swap the other way around, it's more here. So let's see, 0.7, 0.8, 78, 77, 76 more or less to get that pegging with one VS dot. Okay, so yeah, that's how it's gonna be. It is interesting because especially with the dot, let's go back to this farm here. So V dot and dot, I think this is the most tempting one, simply because it is 34.46%. We don't know what this one is yet. They haven't given us the details, but when they launch, they'll tell us what APY we can expect. However, for me personally, if I was to supply liquidity to this pool, I would definitely choose this one here, V dot with dot, for 34.46%, because it is the safer option. But remember, the risks with farming on a decentralized exchange or on a parachain like Bifrost is that you do have dependency on that parachain. So if the parachain was to go into maintenance mode for whatever reason, because of some hack, whatever, then your cryptocurrencies are at risk, because you've teleported your dot over to Bifrost's parachain. So you have a dependency on that team to get them back out. Whereas if you're on the relay chain, even if the APY is lower, you do have that peace of mind that they are safe, because let's face it, I mean, the Polkadot relay chain is not going to switch off. And if it was to happen through governance, then, you know, it would be a different situation. But the probability of that happening is much, 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 much lower than that of Bifrost going into maintenance mode because of a hack. Simply because they deployed something which maybe contains a bug. I mean, we've seen it with the Kala, right? So yeah, just be wary of that. Next, let's move on to Zenlink here. Zenlink just announced that a native USDT comes to Zenlink. The BNC USDT LP farming is now live on Bifrost Finance. You can withdraw Kusama native USDT from supported centralized exchanges to your wallet and enter the farm on Zenlink to earn BNC and ZLK rewards. So you get both of these as farming rewards. If you are interested, you can see here that you can expect an APY of approximately 251% if you decide to supply liquidity to this pool here. So very, very good news to see USDT come into play here. It's quite obvious to us now that AUSD is losing that value. AUSD may be regaining its peg on StellaSwap and on other decentralized exchanges, even though it hasn't regained it on KuCoin, and it may not regain it for a good while, I guess. But USDT, being the force to be reckoned with in terms of stablecoins, the king of stablecoins, as you can see, does have more trust, and so hence the APY is also higher. I'm guessing more people are going to use that, so we'll have to see. Next, let's talk about this article here by Evrloot on Subsocial. It is quite interesting. These guys have done a really good job. Basically, they've integrated trading inside the game. So they're using singulars, you know, like when you use Singular or the marketplace in order to trade. Well, now you can do that directly from Evrloot, from the game, which is quite cool. So basically, you've got a backpack here with the equipables, all of your NFTs, and you can trade them if you want with somebody else for something else. And to open a trade, you can even place a fee in KSM as well. So it is quite cool because this is like your typical MMO. So the normally the multiplayer online role-playing games offer you this kind of functionality when it comes to trading. You can enter the amount of in-game currency and the articles and the objects that you want to trade with someone normally, right, depending on the game, and then you just accept that trade and that's it, and you're done, right? So that's how it works. So you can even bid on a specific NFT. So this one here, the Sandy Oasis Water, which is one that I've got as well, I believe, because you get this from one of the very first missions when you enter the tavern. Then you can revoke a bid as well, and as you can see, it even tells you how many people bid on the item, so that is pretty cool. And you can accept the trade as well, of course, and you can see the history of this trade and everything that's been traded. You can see the usernames of some people here who have made their public addresses public. I mean, and they've associated it with their username, who everyone knows, and everyone knows who they are. So yeah, pretty cool here by Evrloot. I like this new functionality. I'm gonna test this out myself. I haven't had time to play this game, to be honest, too much. I've only tested it out a little bit, but I do have my character. I know that the floor price has gone up quite significantly. I believe it's like 7 KSM at the time of doing this video, but it could be a bit higher. I think I checked it 2 days ago and it was 7 KSM, so I'm assuming it's around the same, but yeah, you never know. So let's talk about the final piece of news here, Crust. So Crust have just announced that they've partnered with Meat48 to provide decentralized storage service on their platform. Now, what is Meat48, you may be asking? Well, it's a social metaverse who want to redefine the idle economy with a mature established fan base. And they're also going to attend the Decentraland Music Festival. So what this means here is that there's a possibility that Meat48 are going to promote Crust at the Decentralized Music Festival, and if they do that, then there's a likelihood that other people that run projects may be interested in Crust to use them as a decentralized storage service solution. So that could be good for those who hold CRU, the Crust cryptocurrency, the Crust parachain coin. And so there, yeah, you could see that attending these kind of events, partnering with the right people can prove useful in the long run, especially if you're preparing all of this in the bear market ahead of the next bull run. If all the partnerships are in place, all the integrations are in place, then things could do well for these specific projects. That's been it from today's short video. Thank you for watching. I will be doing more videos from the Polkadot World event in Madrid in the coming days. I'm likely going to do some live streams from there. I'll see if I can do some interviews as well. I will try to. You know, when I go to these events, I'll try to do live streams now, just like I did at Polkadot Decoded in Berlin as well. So we'll see how things go. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.